Hey guys, this is Dawn Marie and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I speak mainly about digital products and digital product marketing. Now, you're probably watching this video because you want to create a digital planner that you want to sell. It could also be maybe a workbook or a worksheet, and you want to do it with Google Docs. Well, you're in the right place because I'm going to take you step by step and show you just how I do that. Now, before I get started, I want to divert your attention to the description box below, where you're going to find my 10-day action plan for launching and selling your own digital product. So as soon as you finish with this workbook, this planner, or this worksheet, whatever it is you decide to create, then make sure to follow the action planner or the 10-day action plan so that you can launch it and make money for yourself, so that you won't have to waste all your hard work. So let's get right into the video where I'm taking you through step by step how to create a beautiful aesthetic Google Docs digital planner. Okay guys, so the first thing that you want to have is a rough draft of how your workbook is going to look. This video is to help you create a workbook, a work planner, or a worksheet, whatever you want to refer it to. But you would just want to have that rough draft. So you might have a notepad or another Google Doc with all your content on it. I actually had my content beforehand. So this was my content in a very blank Google Doc. And then I just simply moved that over and decided to create this more visually appealing workbook. Now, as part of the workbook, I'm going to create the cover page. I'm also going to include an author or creator page. Then I'm going to include some sections for the copyright and disclaimer pages, and then a table of contents page. And my workbook is going to start on this page. So I believe this is page 6. So my workbook is going to start on page 6. Right, so let's start at the cover page. So I'm now in a blank Google Doc, and we're going to start at the cover page. Now, when I look at this cover page here, you will see that the image goes all the way to the end. So it's an end-to-end image and it fits the entire document. So that means that the cover page does not have any margins. But when we move to the author page here, you will see that there are margins here. So we need to set up our pages first to make sure that the cover page is without margins, and then the rest of the workbook has margins in it. So to do that, I'm first going to divide this document into sections. And to divide it into sections, the first thing I want to do is just go to View, Show non-printing characters. And I want to do this because this will show me the different elements I've added to my page, so I will know exactly where things are. So for example, if I tap down, it has this back to front P, so that lets me know that I've entered a different paragraph here and so on. So I want to now see where I am creating sections on this document. So I'm just going to go back, and let's first go to Insert, then Break. Then we're going to do Section Break, Next Page. So that this page, if I do that, this page here will be Section 1, and then this page here will be Section 2, so that I can format each section differently. Okay, so let's format this Section 1 here. And I want to reduce the margin, so I'm going to go to File, then Page Setup, and I'm going to reduce the margin to 0. Now, before you reduce the margins, just make sure that you are applying it to the correct section. This looks like it's applying it to Section 2. So I'm going to go back out, and I'm going to make sure that my cursor is on the first section. So again, let's go back to File, Page Setup. And you can see now it says Section 1. So I'm going to reduce this margin down to 0 on all sides and click OK. And then for the next section, which is here, so anything after this section break here, but we only want this page to reduce to 0. And then I'm going to move down to the second section. So I want this one to be reduced to 1. This margin looks pretty big. So let's go again to File, Page Setup. Make sure that it says Apply to Section 2, and let's reduce this to 1 centimeter. Then click OK. Of course, if you want to make the margins larger or smaller, feel free to do so. This is entirely up to you. Now, if you will not include any more sections in this document, then you don't have to add any additional section breaks like this. So right now, I think I only want to work with 2 sections. So the first section being that doesn't have any margin, which is section 1, and then my section 2 will have a margin of 1%. Okay, now that's set up, I'm going to leave the cover. I'll leave this cover for later and I'll come back to it. But let's start creating the author page by adding an image. So I'm going to click Insert. So just to go back and show you here, this is what I want to create the author page. So I'm first going to click Insert, then Image, Upload from Computer. I'm going to select my headshot image, and then I think I'm going to reduce this slightly. And now I want to align my image to the center of the page. So I've selected the image already, and I'm just going to go to Align and select the center align. Perfect. Now I can tap down. Now what will happen is that when you tap down, if you have an image in the center, you will see that your cursor is going to remain in the center, but you want your cursor to come back to the left side of the document. So you go to the Align menu, which has moved from here to over here, and I'm just going to click Left Align. Now I want to include this header here. Hi, I'm Dawn Marie, which is actually word art. So I'm going to go to Insert, Drawing, New, Actions, Word Art. Enter my text, press Enter, and I want to customize this text. So let's select the font menu, and Google Docs gives you a wide variety of fonts that you can use. If you don't find the font that you're looking for, then you can also go to More Fonts and they will show you some additional fonts as well. The font that I want to use is Satisfy. So I'm going to click on Satisfy, and I want to fill this font with my color. So I'm going to go to this light red, or if you want to customize it, you can click Add a Custom Color and then add the color code if you know what it is. So I'm going to use a predefined color, and I also want to change the border of the text. So let's go on the border color and change that as well to a similar color. Then click Save and Close. Perfect. I'm going to tap down, and now I want to enter my text here, and I'll paste it. Okay, so we have our author page. The next page that I want to work on is the copyright page. So again, at the end of my text, let's do a page break. Insert, page break. So I will move to the next section. This copyright is also word art. So I'm going to insert word art. And I'm going to again change the font. I'm not going to style the font anyway, I'm just going to leave it as is. And this time you can see here that I have an underline. So I'm going to also use the underline menu, and let's draw a line underneath this. That looks straight to me. And then I am going to change the color of the underline. Let's choose a darker color, and I'm also going to increase the size, the line weight. So let's maybe make it 8. That looks good. Now let's just get rid of that. I want to be able to move the line, so let's move it slightly and then up. Let's move it down a little maybe. Perfect. You can also change the order of the line. So let's say, for example, you can see right now the copyright is behind the line. So if I were to right click on this line and select order, I can send the line backwards to the copyright. So if I send backwards, you can see that it goes behind the copyright word, the copyright word. Let's click save and close. And then I want to resize this so I can make it smaller. Okay, and let's align it to the center. Let's tap down and move our cursor back to the left. Now I'm going to insert this text. And let's do the same for the disclaimer page. So again, insert a break. Next page. Actually, that should be page break, not section break. So insert page break. So with the page break, you're not inserting sections in the page. So only use section break if you want to insert different sections of the page. And this time, instead of trying to recreate the disclaimer, I'm just going to copy this. So I'm clicking Control C and I'm going to paste it here. Let's edit this copyright, and this time I'm going to put disclaimer. Okay, so the next section that I want to include is my table of contents, but I'm going to leave this page blank and then I'm going to come back to the table of contents. So let's move on to the next page, which is where we're going to start our workbook. So I'm going to click Insert a table with 2 columns. And now I want to color the table, color the border rather, and increase the width of this border. So to do that, let's highlight the table, go to the 3 dots, and let's color the border first, and then also increase the border width to 3 points. Now you will see that there is this line in between. So to remove this line, I'm going to select it. Let's go to border width again, and let's reduce that to 0 points so you will not see it. But the table is still divided into 2 columns. So I'm going to add my title. And let's increase the font to maybe 24 or even bigger. Let's say 48. I also want to change the style of the font. I think I want Pacifico. I also want to reduce the width between the words. So to do that, let's go on line and paragraph spacing. I can do custom spacing, and then let's reduce that to 0.6. I also want to change the color of the font. So let's go to text color, and I think I'm going to go with light red. Okay, perfect. Now I want to add an image on this side. So I'm going to click on Insert Image, Upload from Computer, and I'm going to insert my image here. Now you will see that this image has a border. So to do that, I can select the image, go to Border Weight, or actually border color. Let's change the color to light red, and we can also increase the width of the border, and I want to do that to 3 points. You can change it to whatever width you want. You can also see that you're not really seeing the full border on this side. So to do that, I'm just going to slightly reduce the image itself. Okay, perfect. I think I want to make this slightly smaller. Okay. Now, if you want to align the text to the middle of the cell, you can select all the text and right click. Let's go to Table Properties, Cell, and let's select Cell Vertical Alignment and choose Middle. Okay, so that looks much better. Now let's add another border and fill in our text. So I'm going to put my cursor outside of the table. Insert. Let's do another table, this time with one cell. Again, let's color our border so the cursor is inside the table. Let's go to the 3 dots, border color, select the border color, and then also the border width, 3 points. Let's close this. Let's paste our text. And I'm going to tap down. Now I want to show you how to do this text here. I'll teach you how you can. First, let's type out our text. And I'm going to highlight it. Now I'm going to also format it. So I want this to be highlighted in a light red color. I want the font to be Railway medium. And I'm also going to increase this to maybe 20. Now you can leave it as that. So that's it. So this is how I have been able to do something similar to this. But let's say, for example, that you want to continue using this style in different areas of the workbook, but you don't want to continue repeating formatting it. So I'm going to just highlight it, and then I'm going to add a header style to it. So I want it to be header 2, and I'm just going to click update heading 2 to match. And what you will notice as well is that when you go back to heading 2, you can see that it has the same style, as well as it also starts appearing on the left-hand column. This is where it will, Google Docs are actually breaking down your document into an outline, which will be helpful for our table of contents later on. Okay, so let's continue pasting the text. Define your niche and perfect it. And this is another example. So to get the same formatting as this one, let's select all the text, go to normal text, and then click heading 2. Okay, perfect. But maybe you want to add a box so where your clients can fill in any information for them. So to do that, I'm just going to tap down, insert table, and I'm just going to select one cell. And then to color it, again, 3 dots, border color, and let's put this at a different color. And the border width, I think I'm going to do it at 1.5. Okay, perfect. The next page that I want to create is this page. So let's click outside of the box and go to Insert, Break, Page Break. And let's do another cell. Insert table, one cell. I'm going to put a box for my clients or my students to enter their own information. And I'm just tabbing down to make the box bigger. Now I want to show you how to do these bullet points, and also to make the bullet points a different color. So you might want to make your bullet points so pretty. So let's tap down. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just enter the word that I want to make bulleted. And if I select it and then go to the bulleted list up here, there are many different options for you to use for your bullet points. So let's select the star, which is what I have here. And if you want more options for your bullets, you can also make sure that once you have entered the bulleted point, you can also go to Format, then Bullets and Numberings, List Options, and then you have more bullets that are available as well. Okay. Now, for some reason, if I want to change the color of this bullet point here, I would need to select the text and then select a different color for it. But I don't want the text to be a different color as well. So even if I were to select the text by itself and change it back to black, the bullet point is also going to change as well. So the workaround for that is I would have to tap down first, change the bullet point by itself, and then put the text back to where it is. That's the only workaround that I could find. Tap down, change the bullet point to the color that I want, and then tap down to the text, backspace, backspace, backspace. So that is the only way that I am able to do that. So tap down to get your bullet point, tap down, change the color, or actually add your word. Go to the front of the word, tap down, go back to the top, change the bullet point to the color that you want, then use the backspace to put the word back to the top there. If anyone has any way to do this much easier, then please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so we have a very pretty bulleted list. The next thing that I want to show you how to do is how to add an image and then also text, with the image on the left and the text on the right. So to do that, let's tap down, and I'm going to add a table again. Insert table, this time with 2 columns. And I'm going to remove the border across the columns with the 3 dots, and I'm just going to reduce that to 0 points. So I can insert my image. Actually, that's not the image I want. And then I can also insert my text. I can also add a border around this image. So it is selected, and I'm going to select, let's do this again. Border color, and maybe I want the border width to be 4 points. This time I can reduce the image as well. Okay. And our final text for this page. Okay. Now let's show you how to create this section, which I'm going to go through very quickly because I want to show you how to do a table like this. You already know how to create text like this, so I'm going to skip through very quickly until I get to the table. Okay, so how do we create this type of table? It has 3 columns, then 2 rows, but the first row is actually colored, so it's kind of like the header of a table. So to do that, I'm going to come back to my planner, my workbook here. Then I'm going to go on Insert, Table. I'm going to insert 3 columns by 2, 3 by 2. I'm going to change the color of the table. Then I'm going to highlight the top of the table, all of it. Let's click the 3 dots and we can use the paint bucket to fill in the background of the table. Let's make it slightly darker. And that's it. Now I could also change this section here. I think I have it differently, but if I want to change these lines here, so let's say I want to make this white, I can always select it and then go on border color and change it to white if I want to, like that. But I don't want to leave it like that, so I'm just going to undo it. Let's say, for example, I want to add text in here, but I don't like how the black text is against the red. So I can select my text and I can change the color of it to white. I can also make it bold so that it looks very pleasing to the eye. So let's copy that text and let's tap down so we create a table inside for our clients or students to fill in. So that's how you do that. So the next section is I want to show you how to do this one where it's not inside a table or it doesn't have any lines, but let's say you want to add images to your table. So I'm going to go to the next page. And this time I'm going to, again, insert, we're using a table again. 3 tables. Actually, let's add a row below this row. Right, so this actually has 2 rows. So this is the first row, then this is the second row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my images first. First image, second image, third image. Then I'm going to highlight the image and add a border. I also want the border width to be about 3, and I want to make sure that you're seeing all of the borders. So let's slightly reduce the image. And then I'm going to apply the same formatting to these images. So let's click on the image, border color, 3 points, slightly reduce. Okay, I want to make sure that all my images are properly aligned. Okay, then I'm going to add my text. Okay, then to remove the lines from this border, let's highlight the entire table and let's go to the three dots, border width, and let's reduce it to 0. Right, so that looks very pleasing. It's very accurate. So the tables are all accurate. And this is how I was able to recreate this here. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to add a line, a horizontal line. To do that, I can just insert a horizontal line and I can also color the horizontal line. So highlight color. And I want to add a note section for my students. So let's enter the word notes, style it for the heading 2 style, and insert a box, a table. Okay, that's it. And that's how I have been able to create this beautiful planner. So it is not boring with just simple text in it. Now, the next thing that I want to do is let's go back to our table of contents. So you will see here that there is an outline on this section. This is going to make it easy for us to insert our table of contents. The first thing that I want to do is I want to style the table of contents words. So I'm going to style it. Let's put it at maybe, I'll leave it at Arial. Let's make the size of this about 24 maybe, or 30. Let's center it. I also want to change the color. And let's underline it. Okay. Now, I don't like how this break is here. Okay. Let's tap down and let's insert table of contents. So you can insert the table of contents as plain text, so it will just be normal text. You can insert it with plain text and numbers, so it will pre-populate the numbers of the pages, or you can make it linked. I want to make mine linked, so let's include links. Let's also format the table of contents. So I'm going to highlight all of them and I want to put it as heading 2. I don't want the underlines on it, so let's remove the underlines. I've just selected underline and remove the underlines. Okay, maybe I want to just change the color of the font, so perhaps I can put it black. Right, that's my table of contents. So when somebody clicks on this I'll teach you, they can click on it and will go directly to I'll teach you. So that's exactly why we are using the headings, so that we can easily create that table of contents. So this is what the planner looks like. Now we need to go back to our workbook cover. So what we can do is I want to recreate this section here, this cover here. So to do that, you can either add an image that takes up the full page of this first page, right? So if I were to click on Insert, Image, Upload from Computer, And let's say, for example, I'm going to insert this image here. You can actually use this image to cover, let's reduce this to 50. You can use this image to cover the entire front page of your document. So you can, let's select in front of text so we can move this image. I'm going to select move with text and click on fixed position on page, and then I can either extend the image if I want to. Right, so that's one way of creating a cover for your planner. Let's remove that. The next way that you can create a cover for your planner, which is the way that I have done it here, is I have just used a table. So I have the image at the top. Let's move it so that it is right at the top of the page. I'm just going to also extend here. Right. I am going to tap down to create a table. So let's insert table with one cell, and I'm going to add a border, or rather fill the table with what I want and also remove the border. So now I can add my own text. Just going to increase that back to 100. Let's select the text and now apply the font that we want. Perhaps Pacifico would be a good font. And also let's increase the size to maybe 72. Let's align it to the center. And I want this text to be white. Let's reduce the size, the space between the first line and the second line by going to line and space paragraphing and custom space. Let's reduce that to 0.6. Okay. So now what I can do is I can tap down so that the entire workbook, the entire cell fills the first page of the workbook. You can fill the entire page, because what Google does not allow us to do is to color this page by itself. So to add a background color, because we are unable to add a background color to one page, we have to use this background color on all the pages of the document. So this was a workaround that I figured out, and I want to center this text, and let's tap down so that we can get it adjusted to the center of the table. So this is how it will look. Of course, you can continue to tap down if you want. So just so it could fill up more of the page. Or don't forget, if you don't want to do this as a workaround, you can create an image, maybe using Canva, and then add it to your page, just as I have done by going to insert image and then upload from computer, making sure that the image is fixed position on page that will allow you to move the image about for your workbook cover. Now, the last thing that I want to do is you can go on view to get rid of these characters so you can see exactly how your book will look, your workbook will look. You can also rename your document, and then you can download it by going to File and Download, and then as a PDF document. And this is what your workbook will look like. I don't quite like how this is looking, so more than likely I would just use an image that I create from Canva and then create that on the cover page so that it spreads right across the front page. But this is how the workbook will look. So we have created a beautiful workbook. And even if, for example, with the table of contents, even if you have downloaded the image as a PDF, the document as a PDF, you can select the text in the table of contents. It is clickable, so the links do come across as well as links into your PDF document. If you have any questions about this entire process, I hope you enjoyed designing with me this beautiful aesthetic workbook. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.